Go ahead and get this. Welcome, everyone, to Sacred Rhythms, attuning your body to the rhythms of the earth. I'm Kathy Forrest, and so excited that all of you are here and continuing to pop in. So this is the beginning of our Moon Lodge Circle. I offer this to all my priestesses and anybody that wants to sign up for it just separately. It's open to all women everywhere. And I decided that since this was new moon and finally we got to the beginning of the new year, I'd open it up to everyone and let you see what it's like. So today we're going to be laying the groundwork for the practice that we'll do all year long. And we'll meet once a month, a day or two before the new moon, so people can have time to do their ceremony. If they can't make the live one, they can do the recording. We'll also be setting an intention for the year for our time together. We'll talk about the structure and the process of everything. And the two things you're going to learn about today are the importance of a daily spiritual practice and tracking your moon cycle. So we're going to dive into all of that. Let's call in Sacred Space. All right, everyone. So let's all just take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to drop those grounding cords down into the earth. Feel your roots go down through your feet. Feel yourself being held by the Earth Mother. And then inhale. Draw that earth energy up through your body, send it up and out through the top of the head. Connect with the heart of the Great Mother above us. Inhale, draw her energy down through your body, send it all the way down into the earth, activating the as above, so below. Connecting to that flow, breathing in and breathing out, activate the as within. So without, as the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks to be in the physical right now. Moving to the south, we welcome water and clear, clean, current, emotional energy. We welcome love and joy, abundance and flow into our circle. Moving to the west, we welcome air and mind, focus and clarity, all of our guides, all of our etheric allies, all of our angels and our ancestors. Moving to the east, we welcome fire, movement, passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome the divine feminine and the divine masculine and sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into this circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, dance with us for our mutual benefit. Oh, I am going to mute everyone because I hear background noise. Okay. And I want to ask you to, unless you have a question, if you have a question, you can always unmute yourself, but keep yourself muted so that we can put this recording out there without any interference. Okay, here we go. We're going to get us some music started so we can dance. All right. It is time to dive in. We have a lot to cover today. So I want to begin offering you, and for those of you that have been in boot camp, some of this is going to be a review, but we do also have a lot of new stuff. And this was a channeling that came through me back in 2005. And the reason that I keep doing this since even before then, the information, the tools necessary to make the radical shift needed on this planet in a very short period of time are housed within the wombs of the women of this age. You have the ability. Hang on here, I'm going to mute you all. Please, please, please keep yourself muted. You have the ability to heal your planet and save your world. It's up to you. Do you desire to keep this beautiful haven a safe place for the next 7 generations and beyond? Do you desire a place for your children to grow and learn? That's just a tiny little snippet of what she said. And at the time, I had done this for probably 5 years and was thinking, pondering, stopping, and no way. And I haven't stopped. I've been doing this every year for many, many years. So my intention with this program is to train as many women as I can to honor the divine feminine in herself and to teach the next 7 generations to do so. I used to tell my circles, I'm not doing this for you. Most of us are beyond this age. I'm doing it for our kids. Our girls need to see us doing these practices so that they will grow up and do them. I also want to teach women to raise their vibratory rate, knowing that as we do, we raise the vibration of the planet and all of humanity. Our bodies are tuning forks. They are designed to do this work. I also want to teach women that this is our sacred duty, and we should consider it an honor and a privilege to serve our fellow beings in this way. It's not hard. There's not a whole lot that we have to do. We just have to show up and take care of ourselves. So this is taken from the book Wild Power, and we're going to be referring to this book several times, especially today. And I'm just going to read it to you. If you don't have this book, we'll talk about it later on in class. You need to purchase it. They've also come out. It's written by Alexandra Pope and Johnny Wolitzer. They run Red School. You can find them at redschool.net. Says, as a woman, you are coded for power. And the journey to realizing the fullness and beauty of that power, your wild power, lies in the rhythm and change of your menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is a vital and vitalizing system in the female body, yet our understanding of and respect for this process is both limited and distorted. Few women really know about the physiology of their cycle, and many do not see it as an integral part of their health and well-being, let alone as a potential guide to emotional and spiritual empowerment. Your wild power tells a radical new story about feminine power. It reveals your inner architecture and the path to power that's encoded in your body. How to tune in to the rhythm and the changes of your menstrual cycle to realize the fullness and beauty of your authority. 3 maps to guide you through the energies, tasks, and challenges presented to you as presented as you journey through each cycle. How to work with your inner seasons, to pace your energy, calm your nervous system, and gain insight into your overall well-being. A female body goes through all 4 seasons every 28 days. Most of us have no idea. How to work with your cycle to channel spiritual forces, affirm your expression in the world, and achieve a deep sense of belonging. Your wild power will restore women to wholeness and reinstate the full majesty and grace of the feminine. So purchase the book, and you can get it on Audible, both of them. So just know that there are tons of women out there nowadays that are speaking into the truth of the female body in a way that we've never been spoken to before. So for those of you, especially for those of you that are going to continue with this process all year long, and after today, if there's anyone that wants to just do sacred rhythms, I'll talk to you about how you can do that. I'm going to give you, I don't think I'm going to give you any music because I want to put this on YouTube. I want you to take a minute and get out your journals and write an intention, maybe an intention for the year, an intention for your process being in this group, spending time once a month connecting to the moon cycles, reminding your body that it's a new moon. Take a minute. I'll give you a minute or two to write that down. We will activate that at the end of class. Love it. Okay, take about 30 more seconds to finish up. You may want to add to this later. We'll have time to add to it later. So the path back to your power is through your body. Your body holds the key. And this is something women, you know, we've learned how to be boys, and we've learned how to best the boys, much to the detriment of our female bodies. So I'm going to give you a little, and many of you have probably heard this. And for those of you that are used to the full moon experience, this is a lot different. This is a moon lodge circle. So we're going to learn things in here. You can go online and find out what the stars are doing. Just trust me, it's a new moon in Aquarius, and that's all you need to know. I'm going to push you up here so I can, yeah. So this is what women don't know, and we don't really think about it much. We're sitting on a power keg that lives inside of us. This giant power tool does what she does. She turns on and she just keeps working. There's not any turning her off. She works tirelessly and constantly behind the scenes and under our awareness, mostly because we don't pay attention. And because we may not be consciously aware of what she's doing or how she works, what's happening could be causing us wonderful things, or it could be causing us a lot of pain and suffering. But we can tweak that with a little bit of knowledge. We can change our lives so that she begins to work for us in magnificent ways. So I am going to move y'all over here now. I'm going to teach, this is what I call the womb talk. And I'm going to teach you a little bit about what the womb does. And you may have never thought about this before. And yes, I'm teaching it in the format of a medicine wheel because our bodies work just the way the earth does. So we're going to start over here in the West, because remember, our womb is a container. She holds things, and she holds everything. If you want to know where the Akashic record is located, it's located right inside your body, right inside your womb. Yeah, there's probably some counterpart somewhere in the earth realm, but you have it all in your blood. And your body records everything. And if you don't know what to do with it, you just store it. You just hold it. So imagine a little girl, all kinds of things happen in her life. Some of them good, some of them not so good. Maybe she knows how to verbalize and work through those things. Maybe she doesn't. All of that is contained. All those memories are contained in her blood. And at a certain point, all of that turns on. Okay. So all those things that she's holding begin to wake up. Now, what the womb also does is it magnetizes things to you. So whatever you're holding in here, your body is going to draw things to you that are just like what you're holding. Memories, relationships, all the stuff that you grew up with can manifest right before your eyes, and you don't even understand or know why. And the womb also births things. So not only can things like that show up, it's drawn to you. You can literally outpicture it in your physical world. And that just continues. It turns on at menses and it never turns off. It doesn't even turn off at menopause. At menopause, it becomes you. It's like you embody it. So it's not like you get a break. And all of that takes a lot of energy. So the other thing that the womb does is she is an energy generator. And she is what allows you to multitask. She gives you the energy that you pour out, taking care of everyone in your world every day, day in, day out. Your womb, your female body generates enough energy for 10 people, especially people of the male species. We are able to juggle and do all kinds of things because of our womb. And this is true for women, whether you have a womb or not, whether you always have an energetic womb. So even if your physical body has let go of your physical womb, you energetically have this system within you. And whatever you've been holding, whatever you're magnetizing, whatever you're birthing, all of that makes up who you are. Now, it all turns on at puberty. And whatever you're holding in your body contains within it a celestial portal. So you can bring another soul from another dimension into this dimension through your body. So that movie, what were those movies? Stargate? Your body is a Stargate. You can, souls come in through you and are birthed into this realm. That is miraculous. And if you choose not to use your body to bring in babies, you can bring in divine information. You can manifest anything with your body, and you're doing it all the time. You know, we like to think that it's stuff happening outside of us and happening to us, but everything in your outside physical world is a manifestation of what you've been holding and what you've been magnetizing and what you've been birthing. So when you think about the womb like that, it makes a lot more sense that we should begin to pay attention to her. So our bodies also are literally keyed into the rhythms of this planet. Now, we've been able to turn down the volume on all of that. We've ignored it. We've gone to work instead of moon lodging at home. We've made ourselves behave like the men when our bodies didn't want us to. But by knowing and aligning with the rhythms of this planet, you can begin not only to use your physical apparatus to manifest, but to harness the energy of the universe in your very own body. And the methods to do this have been with us for centuries. Many of them have been hidden. Many of them have been forgotten, but they're all simple and doesn't take much to fire up the engine. And when you do, magic happens. So we're going to begin at the beginning, and this body of knowledge is based on the idea that in order for our physical bodies to be healthy, our spiritual life must be healthy too. Much of this information revolves around the health of the female womb space. It's sometimes been called the woman's second brain because it controls all of her hormonal cycles and influences her brain chemistry. It is just imperative that we begin to pay attention. We've been asleep too long. So this culture has given us a legacy that in ancient times was unheard of. And, you know, we've heard lots of different stories, and there's lots of different traditions that talk about a woman's menses as a time when she's quote unquote unclean. Nah. The truth is, when we bleed, our bodies become very, very sensitive, intuitive, if you will, to all of the different energies around us. Now, if we're trying to live like the voice, then, you know, and the world expects us to, heaven forbid, we take a day off, right? So if we keep going and we don't take the time we need to connect and do what our bodies are meant to do, be quiet, draw in spiritual information, get that guidance and utilize it, then we get grouchy because we can feel everything. Hence, all of those things, all of the sayings and the phrases and the thoughts we have around PMS and a woman that's on her time and is not very fun to be around. No wonder. Back in ancient times, there was a tradition called the Moon Lodge, where women would go off for 4 days, 4 days. and be with other women. And the family, everybody else had to take care of themselves because that time was sacred and the tribe knew it. And they knew that if they were going to be able to find where the buffalo were, to find where water was, they had to rely on their women to know. Now, nowadays, does anybody rely on us for any of that kind of information or any other information for that matter? No, because we don't even know that we have access to it anymore. So all of the symptoms that we categorize as PMS, that we categorize as not just normal, they're not normal. You don't have to be in pain every month if you're still bleeding. You don't have to be grouchy. You just have to take care of yourself. So that's what we learn in here. We learn how to do that. None of that chaos is necessary. PMS and its symptoms can become non-existent. And for those of you that are beyond bleeding, this is for you too. This planet needs women anchoring those rhythms into their bodies and emanating that energy out. And rather than hinge your rhythms on the moon cycle or on your own body cycle, you can connect to the moon cycle. So the practices that we learn in here, none of them are weird or strange. They're just practical. They're healthy practices that help you wake up your spirit self and enliven the passion you were born with. Your intuition grows. And it all comes from remembering that the earth is our mother and that we're keyed into her. Okay. So what we're going to, big picture, if you stay in sacred rhythms, we're going to talk about daily spiritual practice, fundamental. Doesn't matter what tradition, doesn't matter if there's no tradition. If you just get up in the morning, light a candle and meditate, that's enough. You just have to plug in and get quiet so you can hear yourself again. A healthy diet. And when I say healthy, live organic food, period. Live, that means growing, not canned, not frozen, live food. And when you can't get it, I'll give you options. Personally, I'm a vegan, but that's pretty strenuous for a lot of people. So you don't have to do that. I'll show you what to do. The use of energetic tools is also going to be suggested in here, and it's one of the most important parts of the program. And we'll talk about what those are, but generally, flower essences, essential oils, herbal tea, bath salts, crystals, those kinds of things are going to help your body align with the different moon cycles. And then in here, we'll do guided meditations and movement activations, lots of different things. But every month, we learn a different practice. The tools for this portal, frankincense oil, the flower essences, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Black tourmaline is the stone for this month, raspberry leaf tea or detox tea. And if you get a packet from me, I put a spray in there that's got the frankincense oil and the flower essences all in one. The other thing we'll talk about in here a lot is connecting with the sacred cycles. That's why I offer the full moon ceremonies every month. This is the new moon ceremony. And keeping the sacred timings is our job as women. The reason we can't seem to do. One of the main purposes of our body and of this course is to get us all back in sync with the natural sacred rhythms of this planet. So it's always a good time to do ceremony around the new moon and the full moon, because that reminds your body, oh, it's the new moon. So tomorrow at 2:53 p.m. Central Time is the official turning point. Usually it's 24 hours before and 24 hours after is the new moon window. But this is the time that you do a little bit of ceremony. Now, y'all showed up today, so you can book this, you can check it off. You will have done your ceremony when we're today. Awesome, Heather. Thanks for letting me know. One tradition that we follow in here that lends itself well is Jamie Sam's book, The 13 Original Clan Mothers. It talks about doing moon lodges and explains them very well. This tradition holds that each of these cycles are governed or vibrate with a special grandmother that holds an aspect of Mother Earth's personality and helps us understand healthy living practices upon the earth. And it's, there's some introduction at the beginning and some prologue at the, or post information at the end, but in the middle are 13 what I call medicine stories that tell the story of each grandmother. So you could, and this book, I think you can get it for 3 cents on Amazon if you get it used. It's been around a long time, but when I was first starting out and didn't know anything 25, 30 years ago, this is what I found. And it helped to help me understand what was going on out there and how to tune in. So every month in here, we learn about the grandmother of the month, and we do a guided meditation with her. This grandmother, she's actually already here. I always imagine them holding hands and they just kind of slide in. So there's this little window of time where we're kind of in both of them. And we're in that window right now. Her name is Talks with Relations. She's the mother of nature, the keeper of rhythm, weather, and the seasons, the guardian of language, the languages of trees, stones, and creatures, the maker of relatives, the keeper of the earth's needs, mother of the planetary family. She teaches us how to understand the unspoken languages of nature, kinship with all life forms, and how to enter the sacred spaces of others with respect. How to honor cycles, rhythms, and changes in the weather and the seasons, how to meld with the life force and rhythms in all dimensions, learning the truth of each. So she's all about learning. She's all about teaching us to learn the truth and to begin to know and understand the creatures we live with, the plants that we live with, and the wisdom that they hold. And so our main theme today is the importance of a spiritual practice. And a real simple one would be to put your hands on that book and just read the medicine story. Meditate. There's another book, I think it's called Earth Medicine, that is by Jamie, and it is a daily primer with, so it's like 28 days of the first grandmother, 28 days of the second grandmother. And so there's a little reading that you can follow, and you can follow it all the way through the whole year. My definition of a daily spiritual practice is anything that opens your heart, that gives you joy, and connects you to your higher wisdom and noble thought. So I teach this first because I know that the physical body needs spiritual practice just like we need food. And I would not miss it because I need it. I feel empty if I don't get up and give it to myself every morning. Notice I said spiritual practice. This isn't a religion. The religions of this planet up to this point have been vehicles to encourage and train us in spiritual practice. But many of us have a tendency to focus on the type of religion and skip the practice. That doesn't work. The practice is the point. So if you skip it, you miss it, and your body will pay for it eventually. And you will too. Your well-being will pay for it. I like to do mine in the morning, first thing when I get up. And my point is, when you're starting your day, you're going to hit the ground running and you're going to go out into this chaos. People will draw energy from you all day long anyway. If you start with an empty tank, how are you going to survive? You're going to be sick. But if you get up when it's warm, if you go outside and get some good nurturing, or even when it's not warm, if you just sit with a cup of tea and light a candle and meditate and start in the quiet. In the quiet is where you're going to get all those messages from your womb space. You can't get those if you're out in this. And by the time you're done being out in this, you're spent. There won't be any juice to get the information that you are put on this planet to get. So the other reason, I am an energy healer, been doing that for 30 years. And, I was doing it back when I had to convince people that they had an electromagnetic field. Nowadays, we know we do. And scientists have coined the term biophotons that refer to those particles of light that surround the body. Our physical eyes, some of us can see it, but mostly we can't. This field sources our physical body, and our body sources it. This is the field that Apache scouts would tap into to get more energy to do the things that they needed to do. And they had much more access to it because they were feeding their body live food. They were living on the ground. They had access to the earth energy through the bottom of their feet, which we don't anymore. So they were sourced. And if we just ignore what we can't see, then we miss it. This field needs attention in order to function properly. So how do you feed it? How do you feed your soul? That's the question. Faith, trust in the spirit that moves in all things. Prayer or meditation is a doorway in, and time set aside to make that connection. The reason to raise the vibration of your physical body and keep it healthy, and to source your energy body to allow you to maintain your presence here on this physical plane as long as you desire. So things that you could include or just dip your toe in, there's a whole list: prayer, silence, music, create an altar, meditation, candles, dirt time, which means sit spot outside, chanting, affirmations, painting, reading sacred material, divination tools, which is cards, dancing, yoga, sacred baths, any of those energetic cleansing tools, walking, running, journaling, any of those things will suffice. And your homework is going to be to start one if you don't have one already. The other homework that, especially if you're in sacred rhythms, put your hands on this book and begin tracking your menstrual cycle. Day 1 is the first day that you bleed. If you're no longer bleeding, that shouldn't be January 24th, it should be January 21st. New moon tomorrow, January 21st. And then you're going to track things, and I'm going to show you how, like your emotional state, your energy level, what's happening during the day. When you get the book, you'll learn more, or you can go to the redschool.net. For those of you that aren't in Sacred Rhythms, if you want to put your hands on one of these, redschool.net, you can get one for free, and with instructions on how to track your moon cycle. For those of you that aren't bleeding anymore, start tomorrow, right here, day 1. This is a good place to start. There are other companies out there that have one of these. This one's just free, but you can, I think the company We Moon has a wall calendar that looks just like this, where you can track your cycles. So the other thing that can happen when you start doing these practices and paying attention to your womb is that your body is going to acknowledge that you're paying attention to it. So I can't tell you, and especially in the early days, these things would happen, and I'm like, people call me and say, I haven't bled in years, and I just had a period, or I had 2 periods this month instead of 1, or I skipped a month. That is just your womb going, hi, I hear you. Your body isn't ignorant. It's your wisdom. So if those things happen, know you're doing it right. And sometimes it shows up as intuitive hits, really cool synchronicities that you weren't expecting. It can be any or all of the above. But if and when it happens, just smile to yourself and say, oh, Kath said this might happen. If there's anything that causes you concern, absolutely reach out. But for the most part, you'll be fine. So your homework this time, start with Epsom salts baths. Epsom salts pulls all of the toxic emotion out of your joints. 8 glasses of water a day. Begin your day with some warm lemon water. And what that means is you either get a big jar, which is what I use, of that organic lemon juice, or you squeeze half of an organic lemon in a cup and pour warm water over the top of it. And you can spice that up with cayenne or cinnamon if you like. And then gather energetic tools if you haven't already. The energetic tools for Portal 0, Star of Bethlehem, flower essence, frankincense, essential oil, and raspberry leaf tea. And then begin a daily spiritual practice. Begin to look at your diet and incorporate more live foods. And if it's warm, get outside, and preferably barefoot if you can. If not, put your little patootie on the ground and lean against a tree for a bit. You have to begin to charge your body with the earth energy. You just have to, or you're going to die. Okay. Does anybody, that was a ton of information, I know. Does anyone have any questions? You can unmute yourself or put them in the chat. And if you don't, hi, Susie. If you don't, we're going to do our guided meditation. So I'm going to invite all of you to get comfortable.
Kath, can I ask just a quick question?
Absolutely.
I was wondering if you have read Wise Power by the same authors, but it's for menopausal women,
Yes.
and if you would recommend that one to those of
Absolutely.
us in that
Sitting
stage.
sitting on my coffee table right now. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Okay. I'll buy it then.
All right. Yeah, they just came out with that this year, and I believe it's already available on Audible as well. So yes. Anybody else? Okay. All right, everybody sit back. Take a few deep breaths in and begin to relax. Begin to focus on the breath. Imagine sending your roots down through your feet. Feeling yourself very grounded. And then in your mind's eye, see yourself sitting on the top of a soft grassy hill and looking down a soft dirt path that leads into the woods. Let your feet dig into the soft grass. Feel your body connected to the earth. And then begin to walk down that dusty path, down into the woods. Let your body relax, stretch your legs as you walk. Breathe. Feel the soft breeze on your cheeks. Listen to the dry leaves rustle in the trees. Take in all the sights and sounds and smells of nature, the birds and squirrels scampering about. As you walk down, down, down the path, further and deeper into the woods. Very soon, you're going to come to the entrance of a cave that's covered with brush. Very carefully, I want you to remove the brush from the entrance of the cave and step inside. Let your eyes become accustomed to the darkness and feel the cool dampness all around you. As you orient yourself, you find yourself at the top of a long hallway that leads down into the earth. And at the base of that hallway is a soft red glow. I invite you to walk toward that soft red glow. Make your way very carefully down that dark hallway. And as you arrive, you find yourself at the entrance of a beautiful altar room. The walls are decorated with red and gold tapestries. There's roses and lilies lining the walls. Candles are lit. Incense is burning. And there in the center of this room is a beautiful reflecting pool filled with water. And on one side of that reflecting pool is a soft velvet pillow waiting just for you. Make your way around to that pillow and sit down. And as you look into the water, you see the tiniest crescent moon, the reflection of that crescent moon resting in the water. take a minute and just watch. Very soon, the water begins to ripple and the moon begins to rise. And there underneath it is one of the most beautiful grandmothers you've ever seen. Her eyes sparkle and she smiles and winks at you and welcomes you into this room and this space. She thanks you for coming. She acts like you're her long lost daughter, and she cannot wait to see you. She reaches out her hands and helps you into the water. And as your feet touch the water, all of your cells respond. They uptick a bit. And you feel electrically alive and enlivened. She takes your face in her hands, and then she hugs you. She is so happy you're here. She wants you to know that she's here to serve you. Ask her anything. Spend some time with this grandmother. What do you need to know from her? What does she want you to know? Have the conversation. knowing that you can come back here anytime you choose. Thank the grandmother for all she's given you. And hear her remind you that she's here with you this whole month. And you can tap in and access her presence anytime. Allow her to help you move back onto your pillow. And then watch her as she slowly sinks back underneath the water until all that's left is the reflection of the moon. Make your way back around the pool to the doorway, taking one last look at this beautiful space deep inside of you. And then look up to the light, the bright white light above you that is the entrance of the cave. Make your way back up that long hallway and step out into the bright light of day. Notice how all of nature seems alive and vibrant and connected to you more deeply than it ever has been before. Very carefully cover the doorway with the brush again and make your way back up that soft dirt path through the woods, moving through the woods and up the grassy hill until you're back where you began. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your shoulders, and come back into the physical. And then take a moment with your journal. And after your conversation with the grandmother, write an intention for this moon cycle, whatever that might be. Now, most of you in here are in Sacred Rhythms or Priestess or one of the other circles that I run. But if you're not, the temple doors are now open for the new Earth Priestess process. We're going to begin this year on February 1st. If you are interested in that, or if you have more questions, you can set up a time for a call with me, or you can learn more on the website. So now we're going to get up and dance, and we're going to move our bodies to activate that intention that we just set for the month. And then you will be complete. You will have done a ceremony for the new moon. Here we go. All right, everyone, we are complete. I give thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. I give thanks for these beautiful souls that are stepping up and doing their sacred work. And I close this circle in the light. Does anybody have, you're welcome, Anita. Does anyone have any questions before we go? The title of the white, oh, but not the menopause. Okay. The Wild Power book is named just that, Wild Power. And the author is Alexandra Pope and Johnny Wolitzer. And they're both co-founders of the Red School. You're welcome. All right, loves. I will see you next time. Full moon, if not before. Bye, love.